I would love to introduce you, Jen Forbes, and you so very kindly reached out to PACT on our social media and asked if we could interview you about being a foster with us, which the answer is always going to be yes. We love talking to our fosters. It's one of my favorite things to do is to be able to talk to our fosters and get our little success stories and see pictures of pets that are happily placed. So thank you so much for reaching out to us.
Of
And I'd
course.
love to learn a little bit more about you and how you came to find out about PACT.
Okay. Well, I want to first start by saying that the reason I reached out is because we love fostering through PACT. My husband and I, we love talking about the fact that we foster through PACT. And we love the dog that we foster and the family that we foster for. So, my husband Craig and I live in a town that's very walkable, lots of bars and restaurants in the area. So, we're out and about with our PACT foster. And so, we have a lot of opportunities to talk to people about what we're doing and things. So, it's fun to be able to share that with people. The reason we foster for PACT is both of our dads served in the military. My dad in the Army, and my husband's dad was a pilot in the Air Force. And we wanted to do something to give back. But we've also fostered through our local rescue, Atlanta Lab Rescue. We've fostered quite a few dogs from them. And both of our two labs were foster fails. So we've experienced fostering on a short-term basis, and this is our first time doing a long-term foster.
A long-term foster, yeah. I'm not a stranger to foster fails, but we appreciate the fact that you keep making room for fosters.
Yeah.
And you'll have to forgive me because I work a lot on the front side of it, just kind of making sure everybody sees the pets, but I don't actually work on the pet placement side. So do you currently have a PACT foster?
Yes, we do. We have Rocky. He is a
Oh,
Shiba Inu. We've had him since April. Initially, we had signed a 6 month contract to foster Rocky for his mom, Mari, and she's in the Navy. And Mari has been extended for an additional year. And so we came to the decision that, of course, we would keep him for another year because we love him. He's great. He fits right in with the family, and we couldn't imagine not keeping him. So she's been moved into a hotel, actually. So her living situation has gotten worse than what she was initially put in when she went over there. Her
mhm.
hope was that she was going to be able to bring him if she was extended. And when they did extend her, she got moved into a hotel. So she's got no options.
She didn't, which is amazing that you're able to extend. And we do not super often, but we do have pack fosters that need to extend as orders get changed. So we appreciate the flexibility. And I
Sure.
do remember Rocky and just the sweetest face. I'm so glad that
Oh,
you're
he's such a
extending.
good boy. Shibas are an unusual breed, but we have a lab and we only have one now, but she's super easygoing and he's just really, we've gotten to know him and he fits right in. So yeah, it's been
Yeah.
a great fit for us.
I'm so glad. I would love to hear a little bit about your application process with PACT and how that played out for you.
Sure. So, what I did was, having had experience fostering before, I kind of understood that in order to really make it work, and even when you're adopting, you really need to get your application in ahead of time. You can't put your application in when you see a dog that you're interested in. You really need to go through the process and get approved first. So that's what I did. We had at the time two dogs, and I knew one of them was getting elderly and wasn't going to be with us a lot longer. So I actually started the process when we still had the two dogs. It was super easy. I reached out through Instagram, and I think it was
Mhm.
Sue who contacted me, and she connected me with one of the other volunteers who. Once I put my application in, contacted me and we did a Zoom call.
Mhm.
He reviewed my application and then asked me to turn the camera around so that he could look at my house. Wanted
Mhm.
to make sure that I had a safe environment, wanted to understand, where the dog would be staying, where the dog would be fed, how they would be walked, and did I have a little yard area or anything, a fenced in area, and what that looked like. And so we went through all that and then I was approved. So it was a pretty easy and painless experience. And obviously, the goal is to get fosters approved, not to decline them. So, everybody is trying to make it a win win situation.
Absolutely, and I'm glad to hear that that was seamless for you. How long between which I love, thank you, by the way, for saying to apply before you see a pet. It's
Yeah.
great if you see a pet and you're so enamored that you do apply, but it's great if you're already pre-approved. So how long between applying and getting approved and then finding was Rocky your first packed foster? Yeah,
Yes.
so how long before Rocky?
I was definitely doing it in anticipating that I would see a dog that I want. I
Mhm.
think we were probably about 4 months ahead of time, but again,
Okay.
I was doing it that way. I knew I needed a specific dog. We live in a townhome community, more in an urban area, so I wanted a smaller dog that would work in my situation. So I was looking for a specific dog to foster. Um, so it was about 4 months, but I was approved. I put my application in and I was approved within a week. So I could have probably taken any dog at that point, but it wasn't the right fit for me. So I was just kind of
Yeah.
taking my time and waiting for the right situation. Smith passed in January. We got Rocky in April.
Oh, I'm
So,
so
and it worked
sorry,
out
but
really good because
yeah.
our other lab Piper, who we still have, was pretty sad and depressed. And so Rocky helped her through it.
We have a lot of people who have had a pet that has passed or they've retired and they've got more time and they're like, this is the perfect situation. I don't have to commit
Yeah,
long term, not knowing what maybe their living situation will be like. And then they don't have that financial responsibility and they get to feel like they're helping out. Um,
exactly.
so how did your meet and greet go? How did the transfer of Rocky go? And then how has it been keeping in touch with Rocky's owner?
Yeah, so I think our situation is a little bit unusual. It just so happens that I live in the Atlanta area, and so did Rocky.
Mhm.
Random. I know that we could have gotten a dog from anywhere in the country.
Yeah.
I put the application in on him, and he happened to live 20 minutes away. So I think that was a big part of the reason why I was chosen to foster him by his mom, because her mom actually lives at the time lived locally. So she
Mhm.
could come and actually meet me and feel a little more comfortable with my husband and I taking basically her grand dog.
Yeah.
She unfortunately is not in a situation where she's able to care for him. So they needed someone to, obviously to take care of him. So the meet and greet went well. We met with him, and when she went home and talked to her daughter about it and decided that we were the right fit, a couple days later, they brought him back and brought all of his stuff, along with, obviously his vet information. They set us up with a Chewy account.
Mhm.
So his drugs, his meds, his heartworm and flea and tick, and his food, everything gets shipped to us automatically. So that's super easy. I don't have to pay for it. The fosters aren't responsible for that. We're not responsible for his vet care. And that actually works out really good for me because I can bring him to his own vet because
Yeah.
he's close by. Also, too, like when we go out of town, his mom pays for his boarding, so I don't have to worry about that. My husband and I can still take vacations. He just boards where I board my dog. He goes to daycare where my dog goes to daycare. So he really just kind of fits seamlessly into our lives. As far as communicating with his owner, we communicate almost daily just because I'm a crazy dog person too, so I just like to, if it were my dog, I would want to know what was going
Mhm.
on. So the way that we do that is actually, it's, I think, a pretty cool way. We both have iPhones, and on the iPhone there's a shared album feature, so that's how we communicate. I don't text her
Mhm.
because of the time change, so we only text if we have something really important to talk about. But what I do is I upload pictures or videos or something going on in our day most days, and I just post them there, and then she can comment on them or like them, and it just makes her feel connected to what we're doing. My goal is to just make her feel as involved as possible in what's going on in her dog's life.
One of the things that I love so much when I personally found PACT and began working with them is that there is that connection. Like the entire purpose of PACT is to maintain the human animal connection and to let these people know that their pet is safe while they're out serving. And I love that there's that communication while they're away because it has to make it easier for them and just settle something in them.
Yeah, I really hope it does. She did text me one time and say it was hard at times for her to see some of the stuff that he does with us because I know
Mhm.
she misses him and she wants nothing more than to have him with her. But she does know that he's safe with us and that he's loved and cared for and he's having fun. And so it's the next best thing, I think. So she knows that, but
Yeah.
I wish more than anything he could be with her, but he's with us and he's
Until
safe.
he
And so I
can.
try my best to keep her as informed as I can and as up to
Yeah.
date with what's going on with him, and anything that decision wise that needs to be made for him. I always keep her in the loop on it and stuff. So
That's wonderful.
yeah.
Have you found any differences, but hopefully positive, between fostering? I know you said that you've got foster experience through shelters as well, through fostering with PACT versus fostering with shelters. How have you found that experience for people that are maybe considering one or the other, or they
Mhm.
have prior experience with fostering through a shelter and they're not sure how we differ?
Sure, it's definitely different. You know what you're getting when you're fostering a packed animal versus a shelter animal, because I don't have any background on a shelter animal. With a foster animal, I have an owner who tells me everything about them, their personalities, their weird stuff they do, what they like and they just don't like. So that is a lot easier from that sense. The harder part, I think, is that, it is someone else's dog. And so you feel a lot of responsibility. I worry about him and I want him to be happy and safe at all times. And, I worry about him a little bit differently than I would if it was just a random dog. So that's, I think, the biggest difference. But, I treat him like I do my own dog and I worry about my own dog. So, but that's really the only difference, I think.
Yeah.
I get a lot of questions from people because, as I mentioned, we're out and about a lot and we take him everywhere with us. He goes to restaurants, he goes to the gym, he goes to the park. We go literally everywhere we go, vacations. And we tell everyone that he's a packed animal. And people, the first question, of course, is always, well, oh my gosh, aren't you going to be so sad when you have to give him back? And frankly, we're no, because we are doing something that's helping someone else and we're providing him with a safe place to stay. And if he didn't have us, then where would he be? That's what you have to think about. And so I'm not sad. I'm happy. I'm happy to be able to help him. And I know that when he's gone, we'll make room for another dog. So that's the way you have to think about it when you foster.
Yeah, and we love hearing that, but that is one of the things that I think I see most commonly, especially on the social media posts, is I would never be able to let them go. Or a year and a half or 2 years is too long. How could you just let them go after that? And I tell them the same thing, that hopefully it's a rewarding experience and that you realize that you're taking care of this pet temporarily until their owner can come back and reunite with them. And
Yeah.
it's a much different situation than the majority of fostering. And you're fostering knowing that there's somebody either serving our country or receiving life-saving medical care, and that
Mhm.
you're protecting their pet while they're away. It's always hard, right, when you bond with a pet, but it's nice to know that, there's a larger reason for it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And
Yeah.
we've definitely bonded with him. 100% we've bonded with him, but he is her dog and we don't question that at all, and we're just a placeholder until mom gets home. His grandmother has come to visit him a couple times since we've had him, and she's now moved, but when
Yeah.
she's in town and he remembers her, and it's not, they don't forget. You see those
No.
videos of dogs getting
Mhm.
reunited after they've been lost for 3 or 4 years, and I
Mhm.
know he's going to freak out when he sees his mom again. So I'm excited.
Every time I get one
Yeah,
of those videos from a foster, I just sit here and cry, and
I
I'm like,
know
"It's
that's
fine.
gonna be
I'm gonna
me.
gather myself, and then I'm gonna try to post this for everybody to see, because it
I'm gonna be
is."
the same way. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm gonna, and also too, I want her to know that, and we've talked about this, that, if and when she needs me, I'm here, like, in the future. So, we'll be here for Rocky. So he's a good boy.
Yeah. One of the best things that I can do for my position in trying to get more fosters, because right now, especially with the climate of the world, we've just had such an influx of pets and
Yeah.
not the same amount of fosters coming in. And one of the things that really does make a huge difference is having fosters who have had positive experience with PACT share that and posting the pictures of happy foster pets and letting people see what that could look like for them.
Hmm.
So the more, happy pet pictures that I get from pack fosters, the better. You guys really are our best, advocates. So the fact that you go out there and talk about PACT is amazing. It's one of our largest challenges right now, is really trying to get our name out there and getting more fosters. They're finding us for the pet care. We've placed over 400 pets successfully this year,
Wow, that's
which is
amazing.
amazing. I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of how we've done this year
Mhm.
and how everything has gone. But we need more fosters. It doesn't work without people like you who are willing to open up their hearts and their
Yeah,
homes to these pets while their owners are away. And
yeah,
it's amazing. And I really do. I'm very, very grateful for you reaching out and for taking the time to do this, because it does make a difference for a lot of people in their decision making.
yeah, absolutely.
The fosters, you guys make a world of difference. So truly, thank you.
Yeah, sure, of
Yeah.
course. Happy to
Yeah.
do it. Happy
Yeah.
that we found you.